Hey, how's it going? Happy Monday. Today is Monday, so we are going to do a meditation because Meditation Monday. It's a beautiful alliteration. I preached yesterday at City on a Hill, where I'm an elder. I preached on Acts 17, and I talked about how there's freedom in suffering, how it's just kind of necessary to suffer and then rise, and how often we avoid suffering. And that's really unfortunate because, especially as Christians, I know not everyone on this page is a Christian, but a lot of us are. And as Christians, whenever we suffer and then we try to avoid suffering with defensiveness, it doesn't really work out. And I said and I identified, and this is just my own personal journey and just sharing it. That's really all my preaching ever is me sharing what I'm learning and where I am in my own journey and my walk with the Spirit. And so as I was getting involved in my own work, I was identifying that whenever I am defensive about something, if it's something with Crystal, if it's something with my kids, if it's something while I'm driving, if it's something that a mentor or somebody is speaking into me, or like if I feel defensiveness rise up in me, then what I'm doing is I'm avoiding suffering, and suffering because what they're saying, there's an element of truth to it. It may not all be true. It may all be true, but I don't know. But there's an element of truth to it that I am wanting to defend myself. And so what I've learned is that whenever I kind of slow down and I identify, okay, I've used kind of defensiveness as a trigger for me to identify, oh, there's something true here that's being said. And instead of defending myself, what if I just took what they were saying and I went in, or took what just happened and I went inward, and with the Spirit guiding me, I identified what lie have I told myself, what vow have I made to myself that is not worthy, that I shouldn't have made, what idolatry is going on in my heart, where is the truth, why is this hurting? Because it's hurting because it's true. And it may not always be easy to admit that it's true right away. And there have been several instances whenever something has happened and I've told myself, oh man, I need to defend myself against this. And I would want to defend myself because I just was so sure that what they were saying wasn't true. Like, what you're saying isn't true about me. I didn't do that. That's not what happened. But what I am going deeper into that, what I'm learning is that it is true. So often it is true. Even if it's just a part of it that's true. That's why I'm defensive. And I found that whenever I do this, it makes me so much more free. It makes it so much easier to receive criticism. Even if the criticism is given poorly, it's very easy to receive it. And then the person that might be giving the criticism, if they are giving it poorly, they very quickly turn around whenever they see I say, oh, wow, you know what, you're right. I handled that really poorly. Or, you know what, I see what you're saying in this truth right here that I mean, it's been instrumental. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to think of a time whenever, just recently, maybe it was today, maybe it was yesterday, hopefully within the past week, you have some instance that comes to mind. Maybe it was a fight that you got into with a loved one. Maybe it was something that somebody said to you that just really made you feel really bad and made you want to shut down. I think that is a defensive mechanism, by the way. Defensiveness doesn't always look like it does for me, where I gird up and I'm like, oh, I'm about to take you down. That is defensiveness, but defensiveness is also shutting down, because we're shutting down to defend ourselves. So whatever it looks like for you, I want you to identify, and I want you to think about a time that you were defensive. And then if you don't have it yet, then pause the video, think of that, and we're going to move into meditation. And what we're going to do is we're going to do, every time we meditate, we do this breath work, right? What that does is that calms us, that centers us. You know, especially if we're going to be thinking about an event or a circumstance that upsets us, it's very helpful before we really dive into that to just really center ourselves and calm ourselves, get enough oxygen in the body circulating through to get us level-headed. And then with the Spirit and prayer, we can then enter into this thing that's upsetting. So that's what we're going to do. That's where we're going to move. And I'm going to lead us in the breath work. And then I'm just going to kind of be silent, maybe throw some thoughts out. Who knows what I'll say. And I'm just going to try to leave room, and then maybe lead our thoughts in this specific thing that has upset us, that has caused us to be defensive. Because again, defensiveness is a sign that we're avoiding suffering. And in suffering, if we lean into it, there's freedom there. I'm speaking from a lot of experience as I've been just leaning into a lot of suffering. I don't enjoy suffering. I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I enjoy suffering, but I don't hate it anymore. And it's something that I've come to embrace. Don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't look for suffering, but whenever it comes, I've come to embrace it because I know there's freedom, there's truth, and there's liberation in the suffering for me. And defending myself against it actually only hurts me more. So that's what I'm hoping that you'll realize now. I'm hoping that as you meditate on this, that you'll realize that there is a truth to what you were defending yourself against, that there is something true there that you may need to confess. You may need to repent, and can not only confess to Yahweh, but confess to maybe someone else, and repent not only before Yahweh, but before them. And then identify that was a lie or that was wrong. And then and then own that and then turn from it and then fill it with God's truth that you are loved by Yeshua, that you are seen by him, whatever it was that you were idolizing. It's so helpful, so good. So we're going to go ahead and move into that. So close your eyes. Really want to encourage you to do that. I'm taking my glasses off. Close your eyes. What we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for a certain count that I will count for you guys, and I'll tell you before I count it. And then we're going to breathe out for twice as long as what we breathe in. Breathe in through your nose if you can, and whenever you breathe in, push your belly out, expand your belly to make for sure that the bottom part of your lungs are filling up first so that you get a nice full breath. So we're going to breathe in through our nose, out through our mouths. We're going to start with a count of 2. Ready? In for 2. Out for 4. 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 Hold this one. Hold it. In for 2. Hold it. Out for 4. Now in for 3. Out for 6. In for 3. Out for 6. In for 3. Out for 6. Hold it. In for 3. Hold it. Now out for 6. All right, now just breathe normal. Keep your eyes closed. With a calm body now, lots of oxygen in your blood, a level head. Go to that moment, that circumstance, those words, whatever it was that triggered in you a defensive response. If it was shutting down, if it was fighting, if it was freezing up, whatever it was, if it was somebody on the road, if it was a spouse, if it was a kid, if it was somebody at work, if it was just a memory that you had of your past, whatever it is, think about it. Think about what was said and how it made you feel. Just ponder it. Identify what you felt. Now identify why you felt that way. Why did you feel the need to be defensive? What was it that you were trying to protect? What truth might you be avoiding? Something that's true about you, something that's true about your circumstance, something that you clearly don't like. What is it? If you've identified what it was that you might be protecting, great. That's may not feel like a very huge thing right now. Maybe it does. Um, but more than likely, the next time that thing feels attacked, you will be much less apt to defend it, much quicker to receive it, much quicker to just love in the midst of it. And if you haven't identified what might be true, then maybe it'll come later. I hesitate to say that there isn't anything true there because my experience and the experience of those that I love and this what research I've done on this indicates that there is something there. More than likely there is something there, so maybe it'll come later. But if you've had it and you see it, this is what I was hiding from. This is the truth that I didn't want to admit, that I now see, that I'm not ashamed of, but that I can own and I can repent from now. Begin to wonder, what does it look like to repent? Who might you need to confess to? Obviously, Yahweh would be one for sure. But is there anyone else? Has your attachment to this lie that you've been telling yourself, this truth that you've been avoiding, has it hurt people? Has it hurt people close to you? You could apologize to them. You could seek their forgiveness. Most certainly, we don't want to overlook the opportunity for us to forgive ourselves. That's not something to be overlooked because it can most certainly hold us back and it can hurt us so deeply if we don't forgive ourselves. The thing is what I found is that most of the time, these defenses that I've identified in my life, that I put them there whenever I needed them, and they did protect me. They protected me at a time in my life whenever I really needed those defense mechanisms, whenever things might not have been so safe. But now I can let them go. Now I can identify this as a defense mechanism that is defending something that is true. It is identifying a lie that I've been telling myself because I've not been wanting to admit this truth. But now I can see the defense mechanism. I can see the truth. I can see it all for what it is. I can be thankful for the defense mechanism that protected me in a time when I needed it, but I don't need it anymore. And now I can move into seeing the lie for what it is, the truth for what it is, and owning that, and then moving forward in grace and forgiveness. You can forgive yourself. It's okay. If you'd like to continue contemplating this, and of course you can, but I am going to end the video and end the recorded time of meditation I do hope that you continue if you feel that it would be beneficial to do that. I hope that you found this beneficial. And I hope that you continue to have a super wonderful